there's no other way to put this. It's hilarious that the Dallas Mavericks won the NBA's draft lottery. When you look at everything that this team has put itself through, I was going to say has gone through, everything that this team has put itself through, the fact that they come away with the number one pick is just, first and foremost, it's funny. That's just what it is. It's a funny thing that has happened. And look, I am not a sports conspiracy theory guy at all. I think that when you look at how these leagues operate and try to put together different things, I think it is laughable. Not laughable, but I think it's very difficult to suggest that leagues that can't figure out video review can figure out a way to rig a lottery system. So I'm not a conspiracy theory guy at all. But if we get the documentary 30 years from now that this one was fixed, it's not going to be a look of shock on my face. It won't be a... No. What? No. It's going to be okay, yeah, no, I guess that checks out. The fact that, like, the Lakers, just tying it all together for the people, NBA TV ratings are down. And so how do you do that? Well, it is with superstars and it is with marquee franchises. Well, we got LeBron on the Lakers, and that's still not really working. And AD, like, he's good, but we need something else. Let's get Luka to the Lakers in a gigantic seismic move to really rock the boat and get this. And so, if you're going to rig the whole thing, you say, hey, Nico, just a sec here. So you're trading Luka. What? No, we're not going to... Yes, you are. But in return, we're going to give you that first overall pick in a draft where that is necessary, right? This isn't last year with Reece Shea. This is you know what? Well, this is a game changer, so we're going to give them to you, and this would just be a nice little thank you for that one. And so you can see how it all kind of like draws together, where NBA desperate to change the conversation about their ratings, now they are dominating the conversation when it comes to sports talk in general, with LeBron and Luka together now and all the different things that maybe it means. And yeah, you're going to take it on the chin for a little while, but now you're going to get the next one here in Cooper Flag. And so I can see where the conspiracy theorists are coming from, but I still don't fully buy that it's a conspiracy. And here's why. For this to be a legitimate conspiracy, I don't think the Lakers then would have lost in 5. Like, I don't think their cutoff for when they would want better TV ratings ends at the first round of the playoffs, you know? And especially when you see what they have now, where it is the Timberwolves against Curry and the Warriors. Now, it ends up not being Curry and the Warriors because Curry is hurt. But you're telling me that the NBA, if they're going to rig a lottery to get a player to a different team just for TV ratings, you're telling me that they're not going to rig a playoff series? Come on, right? If you're gonna go halfway, you got to go all the way on that one, right? And so when you look at it, like that game 4, crucial game 4 for the Lakers against the Timberwolves, where LeBron is called for a foul, and we don't see the video of that until the very end, and it's this like super slow-mo down thing. Okay, like no one else saw that. And so they could have just very easily not, right? They could have easily not had that and just, okay, whatever, if we're going to go the conspiracy route. Instead, they show it, LeBron gets the foul, Timberwolves win game 4, and they go on to win the series. And so then... so that's one reason why we're not fully buying this, right? The other reason why we just need to take a breath on these conspiracy theory things is how many things had to happen to get the Mavericks to this point, where you have, within the first, like, days of this trade happening, Kyrie and AD have catastrophic season-ending injuries. Gafford goes down with an injury as well. And now all of a sudden, this is a team that is basically just running on fumes down the stretch. And the only way they get into the play-in at all is because the Phoenix Suns are just an absolute tire fire the whole way. So then they get into the play-in, and then you are assuming that they lose in the second part of the play-in after winning in that first one against a Memphis team that was having a bit of an injury concern there. So I just think that if you are going to be the league, if you're going to be saying that the league set this up and that this was a giant conspiracy, I just think you have to look at all of it. And it's like, okay, well, if they're going to conspiracy on that, then why did the Lakers go down in 5? And how could you guarantee that this situation was going to come up when the Mavericks had to have a bunch of injuries and then still almost make the playoffs, making this point obsolete entirely. So I just don't believe that this is going to be it. And I know people are going like, oh, well, look at all the different ways that teams have made trades before and benefited from having the first overall pick. And it's okay, fine. Maybe you can. Like, okay, well, yes, you get you just bought a team, so here's Anthony Davis. And, oh, you had to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Well, okay, here he goes. Here's another number one pick for you. And, oh, well, we don't want LeBron James in Memphis. We want him in Cleveland. So there's that. I just don't see this league going out of its way to help Cleveland and New Orleans. You know, I just like the Raptors getting the top pick with Bargnani. That's not helping anyone. Like, I don't see them going, you know what we really need right now? We need New Orleans and Cleveland to be relevant. That's what we need. Also, if you were going to mastermind this whole plan to get the Lakers into a better TV ratings spot, you're probably doing it before the new TV deal, right? Like, they have all the TV ratings, not that TV ratings mean nothing, but this is a bit of a lame duck year for them before they go off to Amazon and to NBC and staying on ESPN and ABC. They just negotiated a gigantic TV deal. Why, if they were going to do something like this, why would they wait till now to do something like this? So I think that is where this kind of falls apart. Also, if we're in the business of fixing things a little bit, I don't think Victor Wembanyama ends up in San Antonio. I don't think that's a key market for them right now. I think the NBA would be fine if the Spurs were bad for the next 30 years. I don't think it's affecting the NBA one iota. So giving them another generational talent, I don't think that they would do that. Also, I don't think LeBron ends up in Cleveland. Also, I don't think Zion ends up with the Pelicans. Also, I don't think the Knicks end up not drafting high ever in their franchise's history, aside from Patrick Ewing. And maybe that's hey, look, man, we give you that one. You got to be chill for 40 years at least here. But so I just, again, it is fine to point at all the things that when you just focus on those things, like, oh shit, oh, there's something big here. There's something going on here. But then when you take one step back and say, okay, well, if they did it there, then why didn't they do it there? And why did that happen? What about this? And what about those? Yeah, but what about these two? Don't look at the 8. Look at these 2 things that are going on. So it's fun to believe conspiracy theories happen. I just don't see it. Again, I don't think a league that spends several minutes on reviews is going to be able to rig a lottery. I don't see it happening. So, if we are to assume that the lottery wasn't rigged, did the NBA just end tanking? Like, you look at the last place teams this year, the 4 teams with the best odds going into the draft lottery were Utah, Washington, Charlotte, and New Orleans. They finished 5th, 6th, 4th, and 7th. The Mavs finished 10th in the West, and they win the lottery with a 1.5% chance. In 2024, the Hawks won the lottery with a 3% chance. Now, the 3 before that, the Spurs, the Magic, and the Pistons all had the best odds of winning, and they end up getting it. But it does seem that they're getting what they want, where bad teams aren't necessarily just automatically getting rewarded for being bad teams. And now, I do think you have to, if you are a team builder, I think you have to take a very, very long look at the strategies that you were using in building up your teams. Because just being bad and getting that top pick isn't working. It's what Washington was banking on, and now they're picking 6th. Like that number 1 pick, that could have been a huge piece to really get this thing going in Washington. Now, I don't know what the get out of jail free card is, right? Same thing like Utah. They have Markkanen that they can trade and probably will trade, but then you're starting over basically, and starting over, not to get too far into it, but with another white dude in Utah, that wouldn't be the worst place to be. Starting over with a Cooper Flag. Like, that is a big piece there. And then when you look at Charlotte and New Orleans, they have dealt with some very high-level injuries, and now they are looking at the potential bringing in a star for Charlotte. Maybe this is like one, okay, now you have Flag, whatever you get out of Ball and Miller, and now we got something going here. New Orleans, it either jumpstarts things because you can trade Zion, or now you take some of the pressure off of Zion. Either way, this would have been a huge moment. But now, when you look at where these teams are, these 4 teams, like, it feels helpless out in Washington right now. It feels helpless out in Utah right now. And Charlotte, like, they're just hamstrung by injuries. And New Orleans did the damn thing, got the guy, and still haven't been able to because injuries or whatever. But now, if just like this was the lottery to fix this, right? This was the lottery to get them out of it. Not even just the lottery, but like not just number one, but like the top four. You get something pretty good out of. And only one of the worst four teams is going to be drafting in that spot. So I do wonder if this does mean the end of tanking, because Washington, it just feels so helpless right now. And I know, like, again, you can point to a lot of different things that would suggest that maybe this isn't, because San Antonio, they were bad and they got the kid, right? Detroit almost won a playoff round because they were bad and they got the kid and they figured out how to build around him. Orlando has been to the playoffs back-to-back years now because they were bad, got the kid, and got a couple others, and built around it, right? So I can understand where there would be pushback to this. But I am wondering now if, because you just saw these last two really not go the way of the bad teams, and it being so desperate, specifically in Washington, but it being so desperate for these teams now, I wonder if you are an owner, if you're a general manager, you're looking at this like, man, I don't know if this is the way to go about it, because this sucks, dude. It's helpless to be in that spot at this particular time. And so it kind of ties in with the some of the news that's going on. But like looking at it from my perspective, Raptor fan here, I do wonder now, and I was critical of the Brandon Ingram trade, but I do wonder if, like, hey, let's get as many good players as possible and just try to figure it out on the fly. I don't care how we get them, whether it is draft. If a trade opportunity pops up, let's take advantage of that. If a free agent opportunity pops up, let's take advantage of that. Let's just try to accumulate good players. And if the ping pong balls happen to bounce our way sometime, that's great. Otherwise, we're just going to try to manage this as best as we can. And now look, they very obviously tried to tank at the end. Not even tried to. They very obviously successfully tanked at the end of the season, right? But they make a couple of trades to bring in some actual like high level players onto their team, and now there's a rumor that they're going to be trying to do that with one more, with Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so I do wonder now if that is maybe the way to go, because the ping pong balls have been so unpredictable and have been so unforgiving for the bad teams. Also, if you are looking to come out of it and acquiring a superstar, look at where the Bucks are at right now. They don't have their own pick until 2031. So they're not looking to dump off a bunch of guys they're not looking to dump off Giannis for a bunch of picks or anything like that. Now, I'm sure if and when Giannis gets traded, a lot of draft picks are going to be involved, but they're going to be looking to probably either get their original picks back, which could be tricky, or they are going to be looking at trying to bring in a few more win now players. And when you're looking at the difference between a Brooklyn who has a bunch of picks and everything to offer, but not a whole lot in terms of like actual NBA assets, and you're looking at the Raptors who have some picks, but a bunch of NBA assets. If I'm Milwaukee and I don't have my own picks, the Toronto one looks a little bit more enticing. So we've been getting on Masai for a long time now. Maybe it's a crazy like a Fox thing. Or maybe I'm just overreacting to 2 draft lotteries in a row. But it really does seem like it would be a much more difficult sell to ownership to say, just tank, than it was probably 3 or 4 years ago.